What if I told you in exactly 24 hours from right now, everything you take for granted, including power, running water, internet, law enforcement, would be gone? No warning, no second chances, just pure chaos. Would you be ready? Because in this video, I'm going to be walking you through exactly what you need to do step by step to survive when SHTF happens. This isn't a drill. This is real world survival. And I promise you, most people will fail. But you're going to be ready. Let's get into it. What's up, Patriots? Welcome back to Patriot Prepper, your go-to source for real-world survival, prepping, and self-reliance. I'm Kelly, and if you're here, that means that you're ready to get prepared, stay informed, and take control of your future. Today, we're diving into SHTF in 24 hours. What would you do? Because let's face it, the world isn't getting any safer, and the people who wait to prepare are the ones going to be left behind. If you're new here, welcome to Patriot Prepper family, and thank you for joining me today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn off that notification so you don't miss a single video. And the best part is completely free. All right, enough talk. Let's get into it. The first 24 hours. Survival starts now. The first 24 hours of any SHTF event is the most dangerous, period. People are still confused, and most are in denial. The first thing you need to do before you freak out or run out the door is get intel. Find out what caused this crisis. Before you make any move, you need to understand what is happening. What is the cause? Is it an EMP, power outage, cyber attack, maybe the grid's down, martial law? Are we talking about civil unrest? Maybe natural disaster, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, economic collapse, maybe a bank run, What is the level of threat? Are people panicking already? Are they started looting? Is the communication still up? Do we have power, cell service, internet? Here's what you do. Turn on your emergency radio. If the power's out, use a crank radio. You should have one of those by now. Check for cell service. If it's still up, get as much information as possible. Now, if you live in the city or suburbs, what have you, listen for sirens, helicopters, or maybe even military movement. These tell you how serious things are. And then look outside. If you have neighbors, are neighbors panicking? Do you see any police or military? Gather as much intel as you can from trusted sources. I'm not talking about mainstream media. They will only tell you what they want you to know. If you wait on the government to tell you what's happening, you're already too late. So why intel? Because the information and action that you take right now depends on what's happening. If it's an EMP, your car might not start. If it's civil unrest, you might need to fortify your home fast. Gathering intel in an SHTF event is one of the most crucial survival steps because information is power. Without accurate intel, you're making blind decisions. And in a crisis, bad decisions can get you killed. Why intel is critical in SHTF situations. 1 is understanding the threat. What happened? Was it an EMP, a cyber attack, just a grid failure? Are we messing with civil unrest? What's the immediate danger? Is looting going on? Are we under martial law? Is there an invasion? Is a crisis localized or nationwide? A city blackout is a lot different than a national power grid failure. Without this knowledge, you might overreact or underreact, which can put you in greater danger. Avoiding danger zones. Riots, looting, and violence spread fast. Knowing where the hot spots are lets you avoid them. Roadblock and ambushes. If highways are shut down due to being looted, you might need an alternate route. What about law enforcement and military actions? Are they helping or imposing martial law? If you move without knowing where the dangers are, you can walk straight into a deadly situation. So now we need to talk about deciding whether to bug in or bug out. If you stay put, are you safe? Are people raiding homes? Is your neighborhood breaking down? If you leave, is there a safe route? If the roads are clogged, you could get stranded in a worse situation. Intel tells you when and how to move. Without it, you're just guessing. But we'll talk more about this coming up. Securing essential resources. Where is food and water still available? Are any stores empty? Are there bartering locations? Where is the fuel still available? Gas stations could run out or start rationing. And then also, where can you get medical supplies or treatment? Are hospitals overwhelmed or abandoned? If you wait until your supplies run out, you'll be competing with desperate people. Intel helps you get ahead. And then also, we can monitor government and military actions. Are they enforcing curfews? Are there any checkpoints or mandatory evacuations? Are they confiscating firearms or supplies? You need to know if the government is a help or a threat in your area. Don't assume they'll have your best interests in mind. So how do we gather intel in a SHTF situation? Well, we have shortwave radios, ham radios. They help you stay updated on emergency broadcasts. There are scanner apps and police frequencies. Listen for local unrest. And then you also have local content and word of mouth. Community networks can warn you faster than the news, believe me. And then observation. What do you hear? Do you hear any gunshots, sirens, crowds? What do you see? Do you see any smoke, any military presence? Just to make it simple, the ones who have the information will survive. The ones who don't will panic. Gathering intel is not optional in a survival situation. It's the difference between being a step ahead or becoming a statistic. All right, so the second phase, the first 3 hours. This is where the lockdown or bug in, bug out takes effect. Now that you know what's going on, you have a critical decision to make. Are we bugging in or are we bugging out? So for bugging in, so if your roads are jammed, out of fuel, there's threats outside as in riots, martial law, maybe a disease outbreak, stay put. If your location isn't defensible, if your home is in immediate danger like wildfires, floods, invasion, also if you're in a high risk area, maybe a large city, you need to move. Go ahead and bug out. So what to do if you're bugging in? 1, secure your home. Lock your doors, board up your windows, reinforce any weak points. Depending on the nature of the SHTF event, fill bathtubs, sinks with water. If the water supply is disrupted, you now have reserves. Next, gather your weapons and defense. If looters come, you'll need some protection. Next, establish a blackout protocol. No lights at night. Stay quiet. Don't look like a target. So now let's talk a little bit about what you're going to do if you're bugging out. 1, grab your go bag or your bug out bag, whatever you want to call it. You should be out the door in minutes, not hours. Remember, you need to leave early. The longer you wait, the worse traffic and dangers become. Have multiple routes planned. Main roads will be blocked. Use back roads. Next, you want to meet with your survival group, or it could be family members or friends. But remember, there's always safety in numbers. Next, you want to avoid checkpoints and crowded areas. Chaos means people will be desperate. So guys, really, most people, they wait too long to make a decision. And by the time they realize what's happening, it's too late. That's where that intel comes in. So you could get the information and make the decision quick. Whether you're bugging in, you're bugging out, but you have that information there with you so you can make a knowledgeable decision. So the next phase, the first 12 hours. Now, whether you're bugging in or bugging out, here's what needs to happen in the next 12 hours. Water is priority. That's your number one priority. Store at least 3 gallons per person per day. Fill every container that you have. Locate a backup source, whether it be a river, pond, a well, rainwater collection, but have that backup source. Also have ways to purify it, either boiling, filtration, water purification tablets, but something to purify that water. Next would be food, short-term and long-term. Eat perishables first. Anything that's in your fridge or freezers that will spoil fast. After that, then you go ahead and switch to your canned and dry goods. Beans, pasta, peanut butter, jerky, stuff like that. You also want to make sure have an off-grid cooking method, whether it be the propane, camp stoves, fire pit, solar cooker, but something that you could cook with. And then we move into defense. Protect what is yours. Lock down entry points. That means reinforcing doors, windows, garages. Establish watch shifts. Someone should always be on guard. Firearms and weapons ready. If you have them, know how to use them. And do not advertise your supplies. No lights, no noise. Stay gray, people. The reason why I say this, if people know that you have food, water, and supplies, and they don't, they will come for yours. Looters attack easy targets. Don't look like an easy target. The next phase, phase 4, the first 24 hours. Adapt and overcome. At this point, we're 24 hours in the SHTF. The weak are starting to panic. The unprepared are getting desperate. But you are still standing. Here's what to do next. Keep gathering intel. Situations change fast. Stay aware. Make sure you keep your energy up. Eat, hydrate, and rest in shifts. Secure your supplies. Don't use them all up too fast. And then build alliances. Family, neighborhood, trusted friends. That all equals strength in numbers. At this point, if you haven't did so already, you want to secure alternative power sources like solar panels, hand crank chargers, firewood, candles, propane, and keep up with medical and hygiene like first aid kits, antibiotics, emergency dental supplies, and just bathing gear. You want to make sure you keep clean to prevent any kind of sickness or disease. See guys, most people think they have more time than they really do. They think FEMA, the military, or the government's going to save them. They won't. This is where society divides. The strong survive and the weak fade. When shit hits the fan, it's you versus the world. So tell me in the comments, if you only had 24 hours before SHTF, what is the first thing you would do? Thank y'all again. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe for more real survival strategies. Because when the time comes, you better be ready. Stay sharp, stay prepared, and I'll see you on the other side. And remember, those who prepare today survive tomorrow. Thank y'all. Take your prep around.